My name is Gasia Mikaelian from KTVU Fox 2 News in the San Francisco Bay Area. Today we're talking about the COVID vaccine and why it can be causing many of us a lot of stress. I'm happy to welcome to this discussion Margaret Cochran. You're a mental health expert helping us through the stress about vaccines. I remember back before they were available, we thought, it's the golden ticket. Now that they're very widely available, it doesn't seem to be.
Well, it is the golden ticket. I think it's important to remember that. The problem is everybody has to get on the ride, you see, and the more people we have on the ride, the less chance that the virus has to mutate and infect us. And if we don't get our skates on here, we're only 2 or 3 iterations away from screwing up our vaccines that we do have. So it's really important that we do that. Now, that brings us to the part where the stress really comes in, because people are ticked off. They are angry, they are frustrated, they feel like everything was, in a positive trajectory, and now everything's just doing a swirly again. And it's not fair and it's not right, all that stuff, like we human beings do. But the answer, and you're not going to like this, I'm just going to tell you, the answer actually is empathy. Because here's a trick with human behavior that's really important to understand. When we communicate about something that's meaningful to us, we either come from an emotional place or an intellectual place. So if I'm coming from an emotional place and I say to you, you're trying to kill me with those vaccines, you're trying to destroy my life and take away my liberty, and you come in with facts, we're going to talk like this.
Right.
There's going to be no communication going on. So if we're going to help people who are frightened and misinformed and worried, we have to be able to get to a level of empathy so that we're talking with them on the same plane of understanding. I understand that you're worried. I get it. I worry about things too. I understand. What worries you the most? Help me understand what is concerning you so much. Let's see what the facts have to say about that, but you have to develop an emotional relationship with a person in order to be able to get to the facts.
Right. I mean, a lot of people have said to me, I'm just cutting those people out of my life. It's sort of like I thought I knew you, and then I found out you weren't vaccinated. It's almost like the whole belief system now clashes, even though we haven't talked politics, we haven't talked child raising, those things that do often tend to bind or push us away.
You're right. That's absolutely true. And it is important sometimes for health reasons to make distance with certain people. The thing that protects our children are vaccinated adults.
Right.
And that's why we need to make sure that every adult that's around our children that are not able to be vaccinated yet, we know is vaccinated and wear masks. That's how we keep our kids as safe as we can keep them.
Right. I know a lot of people who are fully vaccinated are concerned about the reports of breakthrough infections. In fact, we had someone up in one of our North Bay Area counties just very recently die, even though he was fully vaccinated, died of COVID. It's hard because you look at the numbers and you know that you have some measure of protection around you, but then you hear one case of one person, perhaps in your community, who died from a breakthrough infection, and you think, oh my gosh, I'm as vulnerable as the guy or gal who isn't vaccinated. How do we manage those fears?
Well, fear is a wonderful teacher or a horrible master. So the first thing you have to decide is, what am I going to do with my fear? And am I going to let it paralyze me and keep me angry all the time? Which, by the way, increases your cortisol, which is your stress hormone, and your adrenaline, which makes you hypervigilant and miserable. So that's generally not a terrific road to go down. However, what you can do is just practice good safety measures. And also, importantly, good self-care. When we get stressed, when we get angry, when we get overwhelmed, we stop taking care of ourselves. We don't even breathe deeply. We start to hyperventilate, we stop eating well, we stop exercising, we stop meditating, we stop doing all the things that really make us well. And that's what we have to remember, practical safety and self-care.
All right. If anybody would like some more information on this, where can we find you online?
drcochran.com.
All right. Dr. Margaret Cochran, thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me.